Hello, welcome back to another FPL video. Football is coming thick and fast, oh yes. Today we're going to be taking a look ahead to game week 13 of FPL action and taking a little sneaky look back at game week 12, how I fared. It was alright. Jamie Vardy having an absolute party as per usual. And then, of course, we're going to be taking a look at the team selection and fixtures for game week 13. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, obviously, if you do enjoy this video. Without further ado, let's get straight into this one. So first things first, how did we do last week? Well, the game average was 51, a little bit on the lower side, especially compared to the 62 from the week before. However, it's not too bad. Jamie Vardy and Harry Kane definitely recovered a lot of those points, and it would have been a lot lower if Vardy and Justin and Kane hadn't popped off towards the end of the game week. So how did I fare this week? I ended up getting 54 points, which, it's not too shabby, 3 points above the average, so it's always nice to be just above the average, or to be just above the average in general. But 54 points, on paper, my team didn't actually look too great for this week, so it was nice to kind of get through this week reasonably unscathed. So that puts me on a total overall points of 718, not too bad by this time of the season. My previous gaming rank was 490k and had a little red arrow down to 585k. It's probably only sort of 5 points between my old and my new rank, so not too bad. And going to this week, I'm really looking forward to the team that I can put out for the coming week. So before we take a look at the team selection, I'm just going to roll through some predictions quickly for this weekend. Obviously, I'm mainly going to be predicting games based on how I want them to go, as you would normally do. But Wolves versus Chelsea, we start the game off, and a Chelsea clean sheet wouldn't really go amiss here. I can see them actually doing it. Wolves they've been a little bit poor of late. Yes, they got a win against Arsenal, but Arsenal have also been a lot worse of late. So Chelsea, I'm going to go 1 or 2-0. We've got Manchester City versus West Brom. Hopefully Kevin De Bruyne can absolutely slap West Brom up. 5-0 Manchester City. Seems like it could very well be on the cards. Obviously, a goal from West Brom wouldn't go amiss considering how many people have got Manchester City defenders. Then we have Arsenal versus Southampton. It's going to be a tight game. Arteta really has to get a win here if he stands any chance of keeping his job. Hasenhuttl looks very good. Southampton also look very good. So I think something like... Thing is, Arsenal have been really poor going forward, so I can max see them scoring 1 goal. So I'm going to go 2-1 Southampton. Just, got to give Southampton the respect here. Then Leeds versus Newcastle. Newcastle have looked okay of late, but then again, against West Brom, who are quite a poor side this year, they literally just scraped the win. I can see them maybe nabbing a goal, but I think I'm going to go with 2-0 for Leeds. I think Leeds will just have enough to get this one over the line. Leicester versus Everton. Leicester have been so ping-pongy this year. They've been getting, some really good results, like the one against Brighton, and then some also just really poor results, like the one against Fulham. I can see Leicester scoring, maybe even a couple of goals, because Everton have looked poor. I'm going to go 2-2 in this game. Two sides that have really kind of liked to score goals, but haven't been so great defensively this season. Fulham versus Brighton. So this is a weird one, because Fulham have definitely upped their game of late, but then Brighton also, they're really slacking of late as well. So I think Brighton need a bit of recovery, and Fulham also look good. So I think this could end up being 1-1. Obviously, I like sort of a 1-0 Brighton, because I'm going with a Brighton defender. There's a little teaser for you, but I also think it could be 1-0 Fulham. So sort of any of those, I think realistically, low scoring game as well. Liverpool versus Spurs, the crunch game. The two teams at the top of the table, Liverpool and Spurs. I know a lot of Liverpool fans have felt like they've been hard done by VAR. I really don't think they have. I think it's all the decisions have sort of come around. You just don't really recognise the ones when they go for you, but you really do recognise them when they go away from you. I think it's going to be a really tight game. Neither side's going to want to lose, so we could end up seeing a 0-0. We could see, something like 2-0 Liverpool, 1-0 Spurs, because Liverpool are really going to want to come out the blocks, especially at Anfield. They've got such a good record there, and they're really going to want to win, especially with the crowd there. You could see them maybe putting a win over the line. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. Just for the respect of the record they have at Anfield. West Ham versus Crystal Palace. Two sides that have been playing very well of late. Crystal Palace obviously getting a 1-1 against Spurs, a great result for them, and West Ham getting a 2-1 against Leeds. I think it's going to be a reasonably tight game. I'm over at Crystal Palace to pip it 1-0. Both sides are going to be very attacking, but I still think it's going to be quite a tight game. We have Aston Villa versus Burnley. Obviously, a lot of people will be wanting Aston Villa to do very well in this game. I think they will. I'm going to go 3-0 Aston Villa. Nice clean sheet for those of you with Martinez and Konsa, and a couple of goals from Grealish would not go amiss. Sheffield United versus Manchester United. I don't think that Bruno Fernandes is going to get rested for this game. Too many times have we seen, Pep be punished for De Bruyne, Ole be punished for not playing Fernandes. I think Fernandes get time in this game over maybe 6 or 7 minutes with sort of time management, but I think sort of 3 or 4-0 to Manchester United here wouldn't be too out of reach. So having looked at the fixtures, how does the team line up? And I've actually taken a -4 this week because I wanted to get a big man in the midfield and I needed to catch the price rise. So in goal we have Martinez against Burnley. Burnley has hardly scored this season. They've scored 6 goals and one of them they didn't even score themselves, the one that Aubameyang scored last week. So really you can be expecting a clean sheet if one of your players is playing against Burnley. Then the final decline against West Ham, and I said Palace won at 1-0, but I'm not expecting a clean sheet here. Just kind of hopeful that they can maybe get one. Veltman against Fulham. Fulham have looked really good going forward, so I think I would be a little bit surprised if Brighton managed to keep a clean sheet here. However, the underlying statistics, as everyone is saying, for Brighton are really, really good in terms of defensive statistics, and I think Lamptey will be back for this game as well, because Potter has a sort of history of benching kind of big players in games that they wouldn't be expected to win, and then obviously playing them against the likes of Fulham, where it's kind of a must-win game for both sides really. Then with Zuma against Wolves, maybe he can have a goal. That would be very nice. Not necessarily expecting a clean sheet, but both, that would be nice. Goal, clean sheet. That'd be absolutely wonderful. Then we move into the midfield, and this is where the -4 has taken place. So I brought in Veltman for Chilwell and Zaha for Bruno Fernandes because he plays against Sheffield. I needed to catch it before the price rise. I mean, away to Sheffield, he should be popping off. You can see anything from a hat trick, a brace, goal assist. He could genuinely absolutely pop off against Sheffield. So I kind of just need to bring him in to block so those people in my other leagues overall who are just going to go absolutely flying because of Bruno this week. Now I've got him, I can finally be at peace with having it. I mean, that midfield, I think it's what everyone's going for, and it's what I've now got. Kevin De Bruyne, Fernandes, Son, Salah, Grealish. I'm just absolutely loving it. De Bruyne obviously on the captaincy this week against West Brom. You'd really be expecting him to, get at least a return, probably 2, maybe 2. I'll be pretty happy with a 2 assists, maybe a bonus point in there. You can expect him to get a clean sheet point as well. So maybe 9 or 10 points with De Bruyne would be absolutely wonderful. Then Salah and Son. I think Salah and Son could potentially do something. Salah, I'm probably not necessarily expecting him to score, but I think out of the 2 he's more likely to do so because at Anfield he has such a good record. So you could easily see him nab a goal, maybe a penalty like he scored against Fulham, just grabbing sort of 8-9 pointer. That would be nice. Then obviously finishing the team, the 2 up front, Patrick Bamford. He's just been on absolute fire so far this season. Just keeps on ticking over, an 8-pointer against Chelsea. 5-pointer against West Ham. It's absolutely lovely that he just keeps getting points on the board, and that's the same that can be said for Calvert-Lewin as well. He picked up an assist for a penalty against Chelsea, and you can definitely see him scoring against Leicester. I think both those 2 up front could potentially score not necessarily score big, but score well this week. And then obviously we finish off with the bench. We have Jamal Lewis and Brewster. There's kind of 2 playing players. Jamal Lewis obviously does start. Brewster, I'm really hoping, will kind of start to come into that side, as I've said for so many weeks previously. And as soon as he does, and he grabs a goal, his price is going to go flying up. He definitely should be playing that side. 20 million. I mean, if they're not playing him, why the hell did they spend that money? And obviously Dunn, who I probably need to sort out at some point. There is some sort of murmurings that Ferguson from Crystal Palace will be back at some point soon. However, he's back in full-time training. But I don't know whether we'll be seeing him that soon unless Klein gets injured. So there's been a quick little look ahead to game week 13 of FPL action. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys do well this weekend. Obviously not as well as me. I'm really looking forward to it. Only 1 day break, that is today, until the next round of fixtures. Absolutely buzzing for this festive period. So much football and so much discussion to be had. I will be doing a deadline stream tomorrow at 4 o'clock, as the deadline is at 4:30 tomorrow, with the Chelsea Wolves game happening at 6 o'clock. So I'll see you then if you want to catch that. And I hope you have enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll catch you in the next one.